Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. My Long Island TV starts now.
When we consider it our job to make everybody else happy, we can't do it.
I used to live in Boston and I moved to Shelter Island, New York in 1995. And I had been a social worker up in the Boston area. And I just did not want to do conventional social work anymore. I wanted to do like retreat work. I wanted to work with women primarily. Now I travel throughout the whole Northeast doing these workshops and retreats.
We don't know what appropriate boundaries look like. We don't know how to set limits. We don't honor our own boundaries, and we often step on the toes of others by not respecting theirs.
I was leaving a retreat once and I'm like, wow, this stuff is so good. I wish I could get it out to a larger audience. So the thought came, why don't you write a book? Now, I'm not really a writer, I'm an author. And the difference, I believe, is this. I think writers are born to write. Authors are people who have a passion for something, and then they write a book about it. So it's been my passion that has been the motivator for me to write these books.
What we do is we ask one question. Have I done whatever I can to affect a positive outcome? If the answer is yes, then we must find a way to let it go.
When people come to me, really there's one or two things that bring them to me. Either a major loss or crisis, which my first book addressed, or they are so frazzled, out of balance, they don't feel connected to themselves or to their life. They complain they get to the end of the day, I haven't had a minute to myself all day, and they want to get their feet back under them. So this is the book that helps them do that.
The way in which we begin our day will determine how well or not we're going to live it.
First and most important thing to do is to start the day off differently. See, what happens to us, we get in these ruts. We jump up in the day, we're into the day before we even think about what we're doing. So we confuse motion and action. And instead of taking deliberate action, we're caught up in motion. We're like the wind-up doll in the corner, round and round and round and round, and then we get spit out at the end of the day, and we're like, well, what was that all about?
So there's a reader commitment at the end of every chapter. It says, okay, in order to begin restoring balance in my life, I commit to what? So you have to write it down and date it.
People are always telling us to do things, and we say that to ourselves. My gosh, I gotta let go of this. But I'm the person that shows you how. I'm like, don't tell me to let go, show me how. A, B, C.
I think the day gets by you and then I sit and say, well, what did I really do? What did I accomplish? I never feel like I am catching up. So I'm chasing something maybe, still trying to find or catch it. And sometimes I'm not very productive then. So I'm hoping this will help me.
I actually like this whole book and this topic because I feel everybody can relate to it, which is getting back to basics of balance and boundaries. I sometimes will go to the gym first, sometimes I will go right out and do an outdoor walk, an indoor walk, so that you don't get into a rut. You know, that type of thing where you're just, all of a sudden you turn the shower off and you're like, did I wash my hair? Did I put the soap in? And you're done with it because you did it all by rote. So those type of days are long gone for me.
I think women typically buy this sort of book more than men do. So I said, well, why am I making it just for women? I mean, men are out of balance too. Men need this help too. They need it to realize, like, oh, this is not a good boundary I'm setting. I'm saying yes when I really want to say no. So honestly, this will teach you how to say no if you really need to, instead of saying yes when you know it's going to put you right over the edge.